Hi guys, thank you for tuning in to the Coaches Show. I'm here with the one and only, the head coach of the Lamar Warriors, Josh Jones, and I'm Kevin Garcia. Today I'll be interviewing him about last week's game and this week's homecoming game. All right, Coach Jones, how are you? First of all,
Doing good, thanks.
that's great. That's great. All right, so uh, can you provide a brief recap from last game and what were some highlights, both positive and negative, that y'all had?
Yeah, Harmony Grove was a very good team.
Yeah,
They do a lot of things that are really tough for us to stop. Just that straight ahead, running right at you type offense. It's tough to stop that. It's like getting in a fight in a phone booth.
yeah, for real.
I mean, it's just like all compacted right there. And I thought the defense did a really great job. They were able to pretty much shut them down the whole game. They gave up like one big play, and then they did score another. But
Yeah,
anytime the defense holds a team to 14, that gives you a chance to win. And offense, especially in the first half, was clicking really well. And then I guess Harmony Grove made some adjustments,
yeah,
and it got a little tougher in the second half. Just a couple of fourth down stopped us in the second half, or we would have scored on those drives. But it was a tough game. Great end. Louis Ballmer hit that field goal with 1:39 left in the game.
came in clutch.
Yeah, and then Lane Miller with a big interception, and then can't forget that at the end of the game we had to get a first down to seal it,
Yeah,
and the offensive line did a great job, and Cass Crotts broke off a long run to seal it at the end.
yeah, close game. It was a close
It's
game.
a close game.
Lane Miller really came in there, saved us.
Yeah, he's
Clutch, real clutch. Well, I heard from some of the players the turf was pretty bad.
Yeah, it's like
Harmony
playing on
Grove.
concrete. It should
Yeah.
really be against the law. It's so bad.
So, yeah,
It's basically they threw down some turf and then put sand in it on
Yeah.
top of some concrete. I think it's really bad. Might be one of the worst playing surfaces in the state.
yeah. Well, that's all I got for you for Harmony Grove. Really
Yeah.
close game.
Yeah.
I liked it. I feel like honestly, I felt like your defense wasn't pushing it, but I mean, y'all did pretty good.
Yeah, they did all right.
Yeah. So next game against Mayflower, homecoming game, big thing of the year.
Homecoming always a little bit iffy.
Yeah.
Kids, their minds are in a lot of different directions. It's always difficult to keep kids focused on homecoming, to keep the mind where it should be, which is on the football game.
Yep.
And so I think we've done a good job this week. The kids have had good practices.
Yeah.
And Mayflower coming up, very good team. Preseason wasn't really picked that high, but they've come on. They beat Clinton earlier in the season, which Clinton's a very good
Oh yeah, they.
team. And so Mayflower is very capable if you play poorly to sneak up on you. So we just have to make sure that we do our job to execute well, and we should be okay as long as we play well.
Yeah. Their QB, very elusive. I heard.
Yeah, he's a
Crazy.
He's a freak.
Yes.
He suckers rush. I bet he has 1,000 yards in 5 games.
He's fast.
Yeah, he's all over the place. He's not a really big kid,
No.
but he's hard to get your hands on. And I think he ran for 220 last game.
Hmm.
And that's pretty tough.
Y'all been working on seeing how y'all could stop him.
Yeah, we got Casey West has been our scout team quarterback this week, and he's he's about the same size as that guy,
Yeah.
and he's really fast. So he's done a good job.
Yeah.
It's as close to as close as you can get on scout team.
Great. That's great.
He's always with us is control the ball. Don't get penalties.
Yeah.
Penalties are a big deal for us. So just don't get penalties. Execute. What's supposed to be done. Against Harmony Grove, especially the second half, it seemed like you'd have 6, 7 guys block it perfect and one guy miss, and then their guy made the tackle. So we got to have execution as a team. Take care of the football. Don't turn it over.
Yes, sir. Keep that ball with
keep
us.
the ball. They're going to have a really tough time stopping us if we execute well.
Yep. In homecoming, stressful but fun
Yeah,
week.
it's fun. We're gonna have fun with it.
And last homecoming, y'all didn't really come on top.
No. Played a very good Pottsville team last year at homecoming.
They were pretty good. So with that loss, knowing that you lost, didn't come on top last year, you think that'll fuel you this year
I hope so. Yeah, I hope it's a very recent reminder.
Yeah.
And, our one loss is to Bauxite in a game we felt like we should have won. And so these guys are hungry. They want to win every game. And
yeah.
I think they'll come out and play well.
I hope so. And I heard you have some injured players too.
Yeah, anytime this time of year, we're halfway through the season, bumps and bruises and different things. On that last play of the game, Kaz kind of bumped his knee a little bit. I think he's going to be okay. I think he'll be ready to play. I'm not sure about Jarrett.
Yeah, and I feel like Jarrett plays a big part into the team.
Yeah, anytime you lose like an all-state player, that's a big blow. So
yeah,
we're going to expect some guys to step up and have to make plays for him.
Well, I hope that doesn't affect too much. I hope y'all come on top this Friday.
All right, thank you.
Yep. Well, good luck. Thank you for your time, Coach Jones.
You bet.
Yep.
All right, thank you. Go Warriors.
Hello, Coach Brown. How are you today?
I'm good. How are you, Raina?
I'm good. So to start off, what is volleyball, or what makes volleyball different from other sports?
I guess volleyball is a little different from other sports in that it's very fast-paced. It's also sometimes considered a game of errors, where every single point that somebody earns is earned because somebody somewhere didn't get to the ball. And so that really sets it apart from other sports.
How do you feel about student line judges, and what is the importance of a line judge?
A line judge is important because we have those in and out calls with the ball the whole way around the court. And we only have 2 officials that stand right at the middle of the court on either side. And so they can't see if the ball is landing on the court or off the court, which can make a difference in a point. So that's why line judges are important. So we have them on opposite corners to help watch the lines. Student line judges, I've had some really good ones. It can be a challenging thing for students because line judges will often get yelled at by players and coaches and fans in the stands because they're right there on the line, and the way they see the ball, of course, looks different to everyone else depending on where they're sitting. So I try not to put students in there, especially in varsity games when there's more pressure, just because that can really be a challenging thing for them. But I've had some step in and really do well with it. So,
what do you feel has been the biggest improvement with the Lady Warriors from last season to this season?
The biggest improvement, I think that we're finally starting to mesh as a team. Being a new program, being in our second season, one of the things that hurts us, aside from just experience in general, is that these girls were just thrown together. If you look at our basketball team, for example, they've been playing together since they were in elementary school. And so they have that chemistry, and they know each other, and they know their limits with each other, and they know how to respond to each other. They know how to trust each other on the court. And that's been challenging to develop in the volleyball program because that stuff just takes time. But I do feel like we are making leaps and bounds in terms of improvement in that aspect.
How do you pick your libero, and what is it?
So a libero, the term's actually Italian, and if I'm not mistaken, it just means it's kind of like to move about freely. And so this was something that started in Italy, and it kind of just grew. It really became important, especially in high school volleyball, as the game started to get faster and more athletic over the years. So now what a libero is, it's a defensive specialist. So somebody who is really good on the back row at diving and picking up the ball. They're keeping it off the floor no matter what. And so a libero is typically your best passer. It's somebody who hustles and gets to every single ball. They don't let anything by them. It's somebody who is a leader, and they can talk to their team and let them know, I'm here, I'm coming, it's my ball kind of thing. They cover really well. They can read the hitters across the net to know where they need to line up in defense in order to pick up the balls as well.
What do you feel is the best play of this week?
That's a tough one. I will say, though, yesterday we had a game here at home against Perryville. We had like a 30-minute practice during 7th hour before the game where the girls typically they just do normal warm-ups and we let them serve some and then we'll work through a quick rotation so that people know where they're playing that night. I made kind of an impulsive decision to keep my front row after the bell to talk to them about a very specific move that they could do whenever they're pulling the block in and it leaves a wide open spot right against the line. So we talked about that and I let them practice it a few times through. And then in that first set that night against the game, they did it 4 times and earned 4 points off of it. So it was really cool to see them learn something and then put it into practice immediately. And so that's just another example of that growth I was talking about earlier.
So how do you determine that the ball is out?
This one is controversial. When I was taught to officiate, I was taught that the ball is in if any part of the ball is over the line. So where this gets confusing for people is we tend to only watch the bottom of the ball. And so if the bottom of the ball lands outside the line, we want to call that out, but technically it's in because of the circumference of the ball that's still covering the line. And so that's another reason why it's so hard on those line judges, because often fans don't know that. There are players who don't even know that. And so when they see the bottom of the ball outside the line, they're quick to get upset and call that ball out whenever it very well could have still been in.
Until next time, I'm Kevin Garcia. Thank you.